There are secrets that protect your dignity, your dreams, and your boundaries. But there are also secrets that slowly poison you from within. The ones you hide not to protect yourself, but because you fear the judgment of a world that never truly looks beneath the surface. These hidden truths become prisons. They trap the mind, burden the heart, and silence the soul. You deserve to breathe without holding your breath for the past. Secrets that harm you slowly grow into shadows that take over your peace. When you hide your wounds, they do not disappear, they deepen. Silence becomes a weight heavier than any truth you could ever speak. The act of pretending everything is fine drains your strength, leaving you fighting battles no one even knows exist. These hidden truths distance you from your real self. You try to look strong on the outside, but inside you become fragmented and conflicted. You lose connection with your own identity while constantly performing perfection for others. Every unspoken pain becomes a wall between who you are and who you are forced to be. Keeping secrets turns inner pain into a silent war. Your mind becomes restless, your heart becomes tense, and your energy becomes trapped. What you refuse to express, your body is forced to store, turning emotional scars into invisible burdens you carry every single day. The cost of secrecy is far greater than the fear of being exposed. Truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is the doorway to healing. Speaking your truth isn't weakness, it is courage rising from within. The moment you share what hurts, its power over you begins to fade. The right people will stand beside you, hold space for you, and remind you that vulnerability is not something to be ashamed of. When you release secrets that cause harm, you reclaim your life. You open space for trust, love, and true connection. You transform your story from something that trapped you into something that strengthens you. Your voice has the power to set you free. Let the weight fall, let the truth rise, and allow light to enter the places you've kept in the dark for too long. You begin to hide behind a version of yourself that the world expects. You smile when you want to cry, you stay silent when your heart is begging to speak, and you show strength only to cover the places that feel broken. With every secret you lock inside, you move one step further away from the person you truly are and closer to a character you never intended to play. Pretending becomes a habit. You shape your words carefully, you control every expression, and you measure every emotion so that nothing real slips out. You stop acknowledging your true feelings because facing them feels frightening. Instead of living as yourself, you start performing for acceptance, hoping no one will notice the cracks beneath your calm exterior. The price of pretending is heavy. You begin to feel like a stranger within your own skin, disconnected from your heart and unable to trust your own voice. Your true desires become distant memories because every decision you make is designed to avoid exposure, not to embrace your inner truth. The mask you wear may protect you, but it also suffocates you. Authenticity requires courage, and fear keeps you from choosing it. You convince yourself that no one will understand, so you hide the parts that need the most love. You fear judgment, so you silence your truth. You fear rejection, so you shrink your existence. But with every fear-driven choice, you hand over more control to the very secrets that hurt you. When you stop hiding, life begins to feel real again. Your voice becomes stronger, your presence becomes grounded, and your relationships gain depth. You no longer waste energy pretending because your truth becomes your power. There is strength in being known and peace in being yourself. Let the world meet who you truly are, not the version you created just to survive. Hidden pain does not disappear just because you refuse to acknowledge it. It grows in the silent corners of your heart, tightening its grip every time you pretend it does not exist. Emotional wounds kept in the dark begin to haunt your thoughts, interrupt your peace, and distort the way you see yourself. By staying silent, you allow your suffering to become a constant companion that never lets you rest. When you hide hurtful truths, your mind becomes a battlefield where fear and pain fight for control. The more you suppress your emotions, the more aggressively they return. Thoughts become louder at night, memories become sharper, and every unspoken feeling demands attention through anxiety, anger or sadness. What you bottled up eventually breaks through in ways you cannot control. Your body pays the price for what your voice refuses to release. Stress settles in your muscles, sleeplessness invades your nights, and exhaustion spreads through your days. The pressure of unspoken pain makes your heartbeat heavier and your breathing shallow. The physical strain becomes a reminder that emotional pain can never be buried without consequence. This inner conflict isolates you from the world. You begin to withdraw, expecting others to understand a struggle you never share. Relationships become strained because no one can see the real reason behind your silence. You build walls to protect yourself, but those same walls become barriers that prevent healing and connection. Releasing pain is not about complaining or seeking sympathy. It is about freeing your mind and body from the weight they were never meant to carry alone. Sharing your truth allows light to reach the places that have been hidden for too long. Healing begins the moment you choose expression over suppression, courage over silence, and self-respect over fear. When you hold back the truth, your energy becomes trapped inside like a river blocked by a dam. Every unspoken word, every hidden feeling creates pressure that seeps into your mind and body. You carry the weight of what you refuse to release, and it drains your vitality slowly, often without you realizing it. The energy that could fuel your clarity, creativity, and joy gets absorbed by the burden of secrecy. Honesty is not just an act of communication, it is a force that unblocks your inner flow. Speaking your truth allows the mind to breathe freely, releasing the tension built from years of suppression. When the hidden weight is lifted, your thoughts become lighter, sharper, and more aligned with who you really are. The space you create inside yourself becomes fertile ground for clarity and understanding to grow. Suppressed truths distort perception. When your inner world is clouded by secrets, you react to life from a place of limitation and fear. Decisions feel heavier, relationships feel strained, and moments that should bring joy are tainted by the burden of concealment. Letting your truth out untangles this knot, allowing your energy to move naturally and without obstruction. Freedom from harmful secrets reshapes how you experience life. Without the constant drag of hidden pain, your body feels lighter, your mind feels clearer, and your heart feels open. Energy that was previously trapped in worry, guilt, and fear now powers your choices, relationships, and purpose. The act of honesty becomes a personal liberation that affects every layer of your existence. Living in alignment with truth strengthens the connection between who you are and what you do. It eliminates the invisible friction caused by secrecy and allows life to flow with momentum instead of resistance. Energy that is free and unburdened becomes a source of resilience, creativity, and power. The more truth you allow to emerge, the more fully you inhabit your own life, without the weight of hidden harm holding you back. Fear of judgment is a quiet but relentless force that binds you more tightly than any chain you can see. Every moment you hesitate to speak your truth, imagining criticism, mockery, or rejection, the secret grows stronger inside you. It feeds on your silence, convincing you that staying hidden is safer, when in reality it only deepens your confinement. The mind begins to replay imagined scenarios of disapproval. trapping you in a cycle of anxiety and self-censorship that is exhausting and corrosive. This fear warps your perception of reality. You start assuming the worst from others, believing that any revelation will lead to pain or rejection. You measure every word, every action, every glance as if the world is waiting to punish you. The energy you could use to grow, create or connect is consumed by the constant anticipation of judgment. Life begins to feel like a performance where every interaction is filtered through the lens of fear. Fear of judgment does not just control what you say, it dictates how you think and feel. You deny your own needs, hide your desires and suppress emotions that are natural and human. Every unexpressed feeling becomes an anchor, holding you down and preventing you from experiencing life fully. The secret you protect out of fear becomes a silent tyrant, stronger than any external obstacle because it rules from within. As long as fear dominates, your inner world is in a state of constant tension. You may appear calm on the surface, but inside there is turmoil, a restlessness that refuses to be quieted. Sleep becomes lighter, thoughts become obsessive, and moments of joy feel muted because your energy is always diverted toward guarding yourself. The secret is no longer just information, it becomes an invisible weight pressing on your body, mind and spirit. Breaking free requires confronting fear directly. Acknowledging that judgment is inevitable but temporary allows you to reclaim the power that secrecy has stolen. Speaking truth, even in small ways, diminishes the grip of fear and loosens the chains. Each act of courage strengthens you, proving that your value is not defined by others' opinions. The secret loses its dominance and with it comes freedom, clarity and a sense of control over your own life. Confession is not a sign of weakness, but a declaration of strength. When you face the truths you have been avoiding, you step into a space of courage that few dare to inhabit. Admitting what you feel, what you fear, and what you have hidden is an act of self-respect because it honors your own experience instead of burying it for the comfort of others. Every time you speak your truth, you reclaim power that secrecy has stolen. The act of confession frees your mind from the constant strain of concealment. Secrets demand energy, they occupy space in your thoughts and cloud your judgment. By choosing to express what you have hidden, you release this pressure. Your mental and emotional capacity expands, and the clarity that comes with honesty allows you to engage with life more fully. Confession is a tool that untangles the knots in your mind. Confessing also strengthens the connection with yourself. When you acknowledge your own truth, you stop living in denial and begin to understand your feelings more deeply. You recognize patterns, confront mistakes and embrace your vulnerabilities. This self-awareness is transformative because it allows you to act from authenticity rather than fear. The courage to confess becomes a pathway to self-mastery. The ripple effect of confession extends beyond yourself. When you reveal your truth, the people around you see your courage and your humanity. It opens the door for empathy, understanding and deeper connection. By breaking the silence, you create space for others to do the same, fostering relationships built on honesty rather than pretense. Confession becomes a bridge rather than a barrier. Every confession chips away at the power that harmful secrets hold over you. It shifts the weight of the hidden from your shoulders to the open air, where it no longer suffocates or controls you. Speaking truth is an act of liberation, a deliberate choice to honor yourself above fear and judgment. It strengthens your resilience, sharpens your clarity, and allows life to flow without the invisible chains of unspoken pain. The people you allow into your life have the power to either deepen your wounds or help you heal. When you find those who can hold space for your vulnerability, you create an environment where your truth can exist without judgment or dismissal. It is not about oversharing with everyone, but about choosing carefully the hearts and minds that can honor your pain and support your growth. In their presence, the weight of your hidden struggles begins to ease. Being truly seen requires courage, and it requires trust in those who can hold you without trying to fix or control you. These are the individuals who listen deeply, who sit with your discomfort, and who allow you to express the parts of yourself that the world would rather ignore. They do not offer empty reassurance or hollow advice, they simply witness your truth and validate its existence. This act of holding space becomes a mirror for your own self-acceptance. Isolation amplifies suffering because the burden is carried alone, unacknowledged and unchecked. In contrast, connection allows the pain to breathe and transform. When someone truly holds space for you, it does not erase your struggles, but it changes your relationship with them. The intensity of secrecy and shame diminishes, and a sense of relief begins to take root. Your inner turmoil no longer dictates your thoughts and actions as relentlessly. Trusting others with your vulnerability teaches you boundaries and discernment. You learn to differentiate between those who are safe to share with and those who may exploit your openness. This discernment strengthens your sense of self and your ability to navigate life without fear of exposure. Healing is not passive. It is a conscious choice to step into relationships that honor your truth and encourage growth. The act of allowing others to hold space for your vulnerability transforms both your inner and outer world. It fosters resilience, clarity, and emotional balance. It reminds you that you do not need to carry every burden alone, and that strength is not measured by silence but by the courage to reveal and be supported. Through these connections, the harmful weight of secrecy loses its power, and you begin to move through life with greater freedom and authenticity. Transparency is not merely about speaking words, it is about aligning your inner world with your outer actions. When you live openly, without hiding pieces of yourself, you stop creating illusions for others to navigate. Every act of honesty becomes a foundation for relationships that are real, unforced and enduring. Concealment may protect you temporarily, but it builds walls that distance you from genuine connection. Truth allows trust to take root. When others witness your willingness to be seen as you are, without pretense, they begin to respond in kind. Trust grows naturally where honesty is present because people sense the integrity behind your words and actions. Relationships that are built on transparency do not crumble under the weight of assumptions or half-truths, but instead flourish in mutual understanding and reliability. Love also demands transparency. To truly care for someone, they must be able to know you fully, including your fears, mistakes and struggles. Hiding your reality diminishes love, turning it into a fragile structure built on appearances. When you allow yourself to be fully seen, love deepens because it is no longer conditional on perfection or secrecy. It becomes a force that nourishes both hearts rather than a fragile mask that could crack at any moment. Understanding cannot exist without openness. When you share your thoughts, emotions and experiences honestly, others gain insight into your perspective, your needs and your values. This openness removes confusion, misinterpretation and resentment. Transparency becomes the bridge that connects minds and hearts, allowing relationships to grow with clarity and empathy rather than stagnating under unspoken assumptions. Living with transparency requires courage because it means risking vulnerability, judgment and even rejection. Yet the reward is immeasurable connections that are authentic, resilient and meaningful. By choosing honesty over secrecy, you break the cycle of isolation that harmful secrets create. Relationships become not just interactions, but shared spaces where trust, love and understanding can thrive without compromise. Your experiences carry a power that extends far beyond yourself. The struggles you endure, the battles you fight, and the pain you survive are not meant to be hidden in silence. Each story of hardship holds the potential to guide, teach, and inspire others who may be walking a similar path. When you share what you have overcome, your journey becomes a beacon that lights the way for someone who feels lost in darkness. The lessons embedded in your struggles are often more valuable than the victories themselves. Pain teaches empathy, resilience, and understanding that cannot be learned from books or advice alone. By opening up about your experiences, you offer others the tools to navigate their own difficulties. Your courage in facing life head-on becomes a model, demonstrating that survival is possible even in the most challenging circumstances. Hiding your story denies others the opportunity to learn from it. Secrets that harm you often keep others from seeing that they are not alone in their suffering. When you speak your truth, you validate their experiences and offer hope that what feels overwhelming today can be endured and transformed. Your narrative becomes a mirror reflecting strength, endurance, and possibility for those who are struggling. Sharing your journey also strengthens your own resilience. When your story resonates with someone else, it confirms that the pain you survived had meaning and purpose. Your vulnerability transforms into power as you witness the impact of your honesty on another life. The act of speaking out not only frees you from the weight of secrecy, but multiplies the value of your experiences through connection and influence. The ripple effect of revealing your story cannot be underestimated. One person inspired can inspire many more, creating a chain of courage and hope. By refusing to let your experiences remain hidden, you become part of a cycle that turns suffering into strength, despair into guidance, and isolation into community. Your life, once burdened by silence, becomes a map for others seeking the path to healing, empowerment, and freedom. The act of letting go is a deliberate choice to stop carrying what no longer serves you. Every secret you hold that harms you becomes a chain, linking you to the past in ways that limit your present and cloud your future. By releasing it, you sever the connection to unnecessary pain and open the door to clarity, energy, and freedom. Letting go is not passive, it is an intentional reclaiming of your own power. Holding on to toxic weight keeps your mind and body in a state of constant tension. Thoughts loop endlessly around the hidden burden, and emotions remain trapped, unprocessed and unresolved. The longer you carry it, the heavier it becomes, affecting every aspect of your life from decisions to relationships. Release is the act that interrupts this cycle, allowing you to step out of the shadows of secrecy and into a lighter, more conscious existence. Secrets that harm you have no right to own you any longer. What you hide has already taken too much. Stop guarding wounds that deserve healing. Let the truth rise, let your pain breathe, and allow your life to move forward without the burden you were never meant to carry. You are meant to live free, not silently suffering behind a locked door inside your own heart.